I've noticed over the past couple years that demos have really come back on Steam. I remember back in the day when the demo discs would exist and like the 20 games on a demo disc would do that, and I'd play the first level of the game over and over and over again because I never actually ended up buying the game. But because of that one demo disc, I had super big knowledge on like one level. I can remember from my personal experience, Sonic Unleashed, playing that first level over and over again until I got the real game eventually. And on Steam specifically, a lot of demos have been coming out. So today I tried Ratcoin Coin Pusher Roguelike, the Next Fest demo. And I have to say, this demo was incredibly fun. And it has made me wishlist this game, and I would love to talk about it right now. But just before I start talking about it, I'd like to remind everyone, please subscribe to the channel. I do these styles of videos on Friday, so please come over to the channel on Friday to check this out. Comment down below if you'd like to see me play any other demos and or trial versions or whatever of that sort you would like to see next. And now let's start talking about Ratcoin. Now, this game in itself is a roguelike game in the style of a game like Balatro. And I can feel like a lot of people are going to be comparing this game to Balatro because Balatro is kind of like the big game of this genre now when it comes to take a thing that is relatively normal and make a roguelike out of it, like Balatro did with poker. Even though Balatro, other than the hands, they don't really have anything to do with poker other than that, and I guess the cards. But Ratcoin takes that and puts it into the coin pusher arcade cabinet style game. Now, in real life, these things are just useless. I have always hated these in real life because they're just a waste of time when it comes to arcades. When it comes to the physical arcades that I would go to as a kid or as a teenager or even as an adult, these things I always avoided like plague because I thought they were such a ripoff even when I was a kid, and I would prefer even just like the crane games, the horribly manipulated crane games over these things. And obviously the biggest difference from real life to this game is that you actually have a chance, and the special coins, which are similar to, I would say, like jokers from Balatro, give you a big advantage as well with doing extra points. And obviously the goal of the game is to get the coins to push off the edge and score, and you need to get a target score, and you have a certain amount of coins that you can use in your hand, in quotation marks, because you don't technically have a hand, you just have coins that you can push through the left and right tunnels. And in the middle, you have the special coin tosser. And like a regular coin machine, you would put these coins and hope that some of the coins would get pushed onto the bottom through quantity. And unlike the actual coin pusher machines, this actually happens because I don't think I've ever actually seen it happen in real life in these machines. But because, you know, video game, it does actually happen. And these special coins have a properties that can help, and they also very often score more points than the regular copper coins, even though the copper coins themselves do eventually score a bunch of stuff too. Now, if you run out of coins in your hand, you can exchange tickets that you get for more coins. If you run out of exchange tokens, exchange points basically, you lose basically with a last-ditch effort of shaking the cabinet to try and get more coins to be scored. And that is honestly the basics of the game. Get more points so you can play more coins and get special coins. On the extra side of it, there are things called chips, and these chips are similar to the jokers. And now that I've actually said that out loud, special coins and the chips are actually both similar to jokers, but I feel like the chips are more joker-esque and the special coins are more similar to the special cards in Balatro, like the 4 where you can times 4 multiplier or something like that. So it's more like the special cards, and because the special coins are regular coins, but the chips are the jokers where you can get the multipliers and or special effects. For instance, in one of the runs that I did, for every exchange token I didn't use, I got that equivalent to my starting hand, so I started with more copper coins at the beginning of every round. And in the demo, there are 12 rounds, though it does say that the full game will have more rounds. And overall, I think the game loop is very fun, obviously, and I really enjoy the aesthetic of the coins, even though they are just, you know, circles, I guess. It does feel like a machine that you could actually do this with, and I love the art of all the coins and the chips And the third thing that you can add to these are the prizes. Now, these prizes are basically one-time use, or at least for the ones that I've seen, one-time use items basically that you can use to trigger special effects depending on what item it is. So for instance, one of them I used was a little suction vacuum thing that scored all of the coins that it sucked up. And every time you hit next round after you go to the shop, which is pretty standard when it comes to these types of roguelikes, it gets harder. Obviously, you need to get more score to get to the next shop, and it costs more tickets to exchange for the copper coins. Now, on normal difficulty, I was never in danger of running out of tickets. Honestly, I pretty much always had enough tickets. The problem is when you run out of exchange tokens, that's when it's a bigger deal. Not necessarily the tickets. I'm sure at higher difficulties, tickets might actually be a resource that you do have to save or consider. But at least on the normal difficulty that I was playing during this demo, I was never really that worried about tickets, which I do think is a good thing. Like on regular difficulty, there is obviously, I obviously lost during the regular difficulties, but it was more about trying to figure out how things worked and what coins were good in what scenarios, where to put the copper coins, where to shoot out the copper coins, when to shoot out the special coins, when to use prizes, all that stuff, which is what I think a normal difficulty should be trying to teach you and trying for you to learn as a player. So at the harder difficulties, then you also have to, on top of all that, do the resource management side of it with the tickets and how to properly score on normal difficulty, because in normal difficulty, when you score, you can get a combo similar to other games in this genre, and when you get a full combo or maximize the combo bar, you get a spin on this prize wheel, though it sounds slightly weird to say prize wheel because prize is an actual item, but this wheel that you spin on can give you things like a prize ball, which if you score the ball, it will give you a free prize, or just straight up more tokens, or copper coins, I should say. And I think this is really cool. I really enjoy when you get the question mark on the wheel and you get the tower coins. I think the tower coins looks really cool, and how it like lifts up depending on how much you get per tower is really cool. And overall, the game, I think, really hits home the roguelike zone that a lot of these games try to hit, in where you're playing your card, or you're playing your hand. I guess you're playing your tokens, you're playing your special tokens, and you're kind of trying to get that cool dopamine hit of a great combo and a high score, similar to a game like Balatro and the other games in those genres that have kind of come out of it. Though Balatro isn't exactly original, it just did it really well. And I think some of the biggest praise I can say for this game is that while playing this game, I was like, this is hitting the same feeling as when I first started playing Balatro, in terms of it just feels nice to play. For me personally, I do like the poker aesthetic more than the coin pusher aesthetic, but even with me not being as attached to the coin pusher arcade games, I still really enjoyed the time with it so far in the demo. And this demo is also very generous. It basically lets you play it as much as you can. Like, obviously there is limitations to what you can unlock and stuff like that, but there's no time limit from what I can tell, and you can just play the demo until the game comes out in March 31st this year, coming up really soon. So it's really cool to see that not only this demo exists for the Steam Next Fest, and you can still play it, because Steam Next Fest is over for a long time and I forgot to play it, and then I could still install it and still do it, which is really nice of them. And overall, I really enjoyed my time with this demo, and I'm really interested to see what the full game is going to be like, because if they can handle the higher difficulties and the more stuff that these roguelikes kind of thrive off of when it comes to this style of game, where it's just you add more and more and more and more stuff into it while still keeping the simplicity of the mechanics there, but having it be complex but simple to understand in a sort of weird oxymoron kind of way. And I'm also curious how builds are going to go with this game, because the chips and special coins are interesting, but like the chips, from what I can tell, didn't do that much, at least in the earlier games. And the special coins are one-time use. So it's interesting to see that there's a lot of temporary effects, but it's also like hammed up in terms of the randomness because of the special coins, because you're not guaranteed to get the special coins that you truly want. And with the clip expansions not only being able to hold so many of the special coins and only being so allowed to buy so many of them at once, it's going to be interesting to see like what does a build look like. Like, do builds for Ratcoin, are they chip focused, or are they coins focused, or are they a bit of both? Are they a mixture of, depending on what coins you have and chips you have? I mean, obviously it's going to be that, but I'm interested to see like what the regular build is going to be, because obviously people are going to min-max the game, and the people who love this game are going to completely destroy it, as these games tend to happen when someone gets super obsessed and has 500 hours in like a month. Similar to what happened with Balatro, when the game basically broke in like a couple weeks because people were like, I love this game, I've played it so much. So I'm interested to see what the long-term builds are going to be, but I think this is a really good base. And honestly, I say that expecting updates and stuff like that, but even if there are no updates after the game, which I'm assuming there's going to be updates, but I think the base part of this game is still enough. And even though we don't know a full price for the game right now, I can't imagine this game charging crazy amounts of money, so it's going to be really fun, I think, and I think it's going to be worth the money. And I really hope to see how the developers continue doing this game and seeing what the kind of support they do for it. And to be fair, even the demo itself has many languages as well, so it looks like they're really going for long-term success for this type of game, which is exactly what they should be going for. But with all that said, are there any things that I disliked about the game? And the only thing I could say really is that it did feel like in the beginning, putting copper coins, shooting the copper coins out feels not as impactful sometimes as like playing a card in Balatro, or like playing a hand in Balatro, I should say. Because I don't know, it just feels slightly different, because it is a different way of playing a hand, because it's more of a gradual satisfaction rather than an immediate hit of dopamine, because you have to shoot it out and then let the coins be pushed and you have to wait. So it's more of like an anticipation more than an immediate hit, like the Balatro style really hits. And while I don't think that's a huge negative, it is something that is different, and I'm not sure if other people will be as cool with it as I am, because it was weird shooting out the coins sometimes and then nothing happens. Almost similar to playing a dead hand, but even worse of a feeling, I guess, because sometimes it really sucks. And I'm not sure if that is going to be a bigger negative overall, or is it's just a me thing, but that was definitely something I felt that is not as impactful, because it's a lot of anticipation. It's a lot of waiting for the moment to happen instead of the being able to be in direct control like you are in Balatro with the hands you play. But those are my thoughts on this demo. Please let me know if you've tried out the demo yourself, or if you're going to be wishlisting the game. I personally have wishlisted it, and hopefully I will be playing this full game eventually when it fully comes out in March. If you enjoyed this style of video, please let me know down in the comments. If there are other demos you'd like to have me check out, let me know about them. I will download them and check them out and make a video on it. We do these styles of videos on Fridays, along with other video essay styles and news videos on Mondays, so come over to the channel at that time. We also do shorts periodically through the week as well, if you'd like to check those out. If you'd like to support me directly, please go over to the Patreon at patreon.com/thetechnojelly. You can join all of these nice people in the credits, as well as a once-a-month live stream that we do, and we hang out together. You can vote on it right now going to the poll over on Patreon. And if you'd like to support even more directly, I have an affiliate code with poggers.shop down in the description. You can get 10% off if you use my code TechnoJelly, buying their hydration mix, their energy drink mix, and their sleep aid mix, as well as their shaker cups. Pretty good. I've tried them myself and I really enjoy it. So 10% off if you use my code TechnoJelly at checkout. And if you'd like to follow me on other platforms, I have a Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye, everyone.